Christmas University Challenge. Asking the questions, Emil Roger.
Hello and welcome to Christmas University Challenge, our seasonal special series for teams of alumni. Tonight's match is the second of this year's semi-finals. Last time, the team from Durham beat Worcester College Oxford to claim the first place in the series final, and whoever wins tonight will join them. The team from Churchill College, Cambridge, had to see off tough opposition from the University of Southampton to reach these semi-finals. In that match, Southampton actually answered more starters, but Churchill made a lot more of their bonuses, picking up an average of 10 points per set on topics ranging from video games to German politics. The team returns tonight unchanged and includes a professor of clinical biomanufacturing at the University of Oxford, who played a key role in the development of the Oxford-AstraZeneca COVID vaccine, a multi-award-winning historian and broadcaster who is a particular expert in the history of the church, a physicist, oceanographer and writer and broadcaster with numerous TV and radio credits, and the BBC's longest-serving technology presenter and journalist. Let's meet them for the second time.
My name's Catherine Green and I graduated in 1996 with a BA in Natural Sciences.
Hello, I'm Dermot McCulloch. I graduated in history in 1972 and finished my doctorate in 1977. Meanwhile, at Churchill, I was team captain in University Challenge in 1975.
And their captain.
I'm Helen Chersky and I graduated in physics with a Masters of Science in 2001 and with a PhD in 2006.
Hi, I'm Spencer Kelly. I graduated with a BA in computer science in 1994.
They're facing four graduates of Queen's College, Cambridge, who have won one Cambridge derby already, beating Emmanuel College in the heats by 175 points to 95. Again, it was the bonuses that made the difference in that match. Queen's picked up at least 5 points on every set and the full 15 on actors who have played Santa Claus, Muhammad Ali's Rumble in the Jungle and people born on the 31st of December. Once again, the team consists of an emeritus professor of space science and former president of the Royal Astronomical Society, a literary critic and writer whose works include a best-selling series of historical novels, a journalist, author and documentary maker who's a regular voice on Radio 4, and an award-winning writer of science fiction. Let's meet the team from Queen's College once again.
Hello, my name is John Zarnecki and I graduated with a BA in Natural Science in 1971.
I'm Stephanie Merritt. I read English and I graduated in 1996.
And their captain.
I'm Jenny Kleeman and I graduated with a degree in Social and Political Sciences in 2001.
Hello, I'm Richard Morgan. I studied modern languages and history and I graduated in 1987.
Welcome back to both of you. Here we go, fingers on buzzers, good luck. Here's your first starter for 10. I want the name of a country here. The sovereign state of the Bektashi order is a proposed microstate that would be located entirely within the boundaries of which European country at the headquarters of its namesake Sufi order. In September 2024, Prime Minister Edi Rama announced plans to facilitate its establishment in this country's capital, Tirana.
Queen Zarnecki.
Albania.
It is Albania, yes. 3 questions for you on tennis in 1999. At the 1999 French Open, who beat Andrei Medvedev in the men's singles final to win his first and only French Open title, making him the second man in the Open era to win a career Grand Slam, and the first to do so on 3 different surfaces?
It will be 99, but it will be one of the...
Could have been Federer.
It could have been Federer.
Yeah.
Should we go for Federer?
But he's only French.
Let's try it. Federer?
No, it's a bit early for Federer, actually. That was Andre Agassi. Which American player won her only Wimbledon singles title in 1999 without dropping a set all tournament? She beat 7-time champion Steffi Graf in the final in what would turn out to be Graf's last ever Grand Slam match.
I got nothing. I'm so sorry, guys. 99. Only time. Beat Steffi Graf.
Is it the Russian Kornikova?
I think... Oh, it could be, actually. Kornikova?
No, it's Lindsay Davenport. Which American player beat Martina Hingis in the final of the 1999 US Open to win her first Grand Slam singles title aged just 17? At the French Open that year, she also won her first of 14 Grand Slam women's doubles titles.
Could that be Kornikova? I'm all right.
She's not American.
Is it American?
Is that one of the Williams?
Should we go for a Williams?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Should we go for Venus? Yeah. Venus Williams?
Bad luck, it's Serena. Here we go, fingers on buzzers. Begun in about 122 CE, what structure runs parallel to the Steingate and has notable fortifications at Berderswold, Chesters?
Churchill McCulloch.
Hadrian's Wall.
It does indeed. Well done. Your bonuses, Churchill, are on books and artworks in the collection of Lyme Hall, a National Trust property near Stockport in Cheshire. A 1696 portrait by Michael Dahl that, as of late 2024, is on long-term loan at Lyme Hall, depicts which empiricist philosopher? His works include an essay concerning human understanding and 2 treatises on government.
John Locke.
John Locke.
Yes, a 20th century painting by Raoul Millet, a grandson of John Everett Millet, is a copy of what 17th century work in the Prado in Madrid? Its central figure is 5-year-old Infanta Margarita Teresa, daughter of King Philip IV and his second wife, Maria Anna.
It's a copy of something in the Prado. What's the famous painting?
Tip of my tongue.
What's the famous painting in the Prado? You know one?
No, it's gone, I think.
Gone?
Gone.
No.
No.
Something like the Madonna, just like the Madonna. It's going to be a Jesus picture.
Nominate Green.
I don't, Virgin and Child.
That's a very cruel nomination, I think. No, it's Las Meninas. Finally, produced by William Caxton with the printer Guillaume Mainial in Paris in 1487, the Sarum Missal was in the possession of the Lee family for more than 500 years. It is a liturgical work named after which diocese in southern England which saw its development?
Salisbury.
Nominate McCulloch.
Salisbury.
Salisbury is correct. Well done. Now to start the question now. Which dwarf planet of our solar system was first observed on the 1st of January 1801 by the Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi, who initially identified it as a...
Churchill Green.
Pluto.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. You may not confer, but you can hear more of the question. Who initially identified it as a comet. It orbits the Sun between Mars and Jupiter, and Piazzi gave it the name by which it is still known after a Roman goddess whose earthly home was supposedly Sicily, where he made the observation.
Queen Zarnecki.
Ceres.
It is, yes. Good job, you've got a Professor of Space Science on your team. Your bonuses, Queens, are on fast-growing plants. In each case, give the common name from the description. First, Elymus repens, also known as twitch, a perennial grass with flat, slightly hairy leaves. It spreads by underground rhizomes and can be difficult to remove.
Sorry? I can nominate you if any of you have any ideas. Oh, it could be. Okay, should we go for that? Japanese knotweed?
No, it was couch grass. Secondly, plants of the genera Calistigia or convolvulus, a twining plant with funnel-shaped flowers. I need the common name used by Wordsworth in The Excursion, where he described it as cumbrous, with its wreaths and bells.
With its reeds and bells. Ivy? No. Ivy is a climbing plant, but I don't. It doesn't have reeds and bells. It's not right, though.
No. Come on.
What about foxglove?
Which one shall we go for?
Well, foxglove has.
OK. Foxglove.
No, it's bindweed. Finally, a coarse plant of the genus Arctium, named for its prickly seed pods. Its name appears in that of a traditional carbonated soft drink.
Carbonated soft drink, prickly pods.
Burdock.
Burdock.
Yes, it is. Well done. Let's start the question now, and it's a picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a map showing the venues used for a particular sporting competition of 2024. For 10 points, I want the name of that competition.
Queen's Morgan.
The Euros?
Yeah, it's the Euros. For your picture starter there, Queens, you saw the locations of the stadiums used for the Euro 2024 tournament in Germany. For your bonuses, you'll see 3 of those stadiums highlighted in blue. In each case, I want the name of the football club that plays its home games there. 5 points for each you can correctly identify. First.
Does anyone know about German geography and or football?
I think it's East Germany. I think that's Leipzig.
Leipzig?
Yes, we'll accept that. It's RB Leipzig. Second, the club based here. A single word name is enough?
I'm not going to be much use to you guys here, I'm afraid.
Borussia.
Borussia. How shall I nominate you? Nominate Zarnecki.
Borussia.
No, you're talking about Borussia Dortmund. No, it's Schalke. And finally, I will need to hear at least a 2-word answer.
What should we guess, guys? I'm so sorry I can't be more help to you on this.
Come on.
Cologne FC. I have no idea.
Cologne FC.
It's Eintracht Frankfurt. Let's start the question. The 12th century scholars Robert of Chester, Adelard of Bath and Gerard of Cremona were among the most prominent medieval translators of text from which language into Latin? The works they translated between them include the book on the composition of alchemy and the compendious book on calculation by completion and...
Queen's Merit.
Arabic.
Yes, it is. Well done. Your bonuses are 3 questions on a design object. In 2024, Mallory Blackman, Bernardine Evaristo and Tom Stoppard were among authors who contributed miniature books to celebrate the centenary of an elaborate doll's house in Windsor Castle, originally created for which Queen consort?
How old was that? Was it a centenary? So, who was the Queen consort? Yeah.
What year?
1920s.
Come on.
Should we just... No. What did you say before? Queen Charlotte?
No, it's Queen Mary, Mary of Teck. An intricate 1:12 scale replica of an Edwardian mansion, complete with electricity and running water. The Doll's House was designed by which English architect? His full-size works include the Cenotaph in London and India's Presidential Palace.
Lutyens. Is it Lutyens? Lutyens.
Lutyens?
Legends, yeah. The miniature books originally created in the 1920s for the house include The Haunted Doll's House, a ghost story by which English writer?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Arthur Machen, maybe. I think I'd say Machen.
Nominate Morgan.
Arthur Machen.
No, it's M.R. James. Now let's start the question. Referred to as the spiritual godfather of New Hollywood and mentor of a generation of filmmakers including Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese and Jonathan Demme, which director, who died aged 98 in 2024, directed films such as Attack of the Crab Monsters, X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, and a series of adaptations of works by Edgar Allan Poe? No, I'll tell you, it's Roger Corman. Let's start the question. A painting in the National Gallery by Thomas Gainsborough depicts the painter's young daughters chasing what? These creatures are a common motif in the still life paintings of Maria von Oosterwijk. In Jacques-Louis David's Cupid and Psyche, one can be seen hovering above the goddess's head. And in Jonathan Yeo's 2024 official portrait, one appears poised to land on King Charles's shoulder.
Churchill Chersky.
Butterflies.
It is a butterfly, yes. Absolutely. 3 questions for you, Churchill, on short films released in 2024. Which British singer-songwriter wrote and directed the anti-war short Little Shrew, which follows a title creature as it navigates a bombed-out city? It features a new edit of this singer's song Snowflake, taken from her 2011 album 50 Words for Snow.
Is it PJ? Is it PJ Harvey?
PJ Harvey.
PJ Harvey is a singer.
Try.
PJ Harvey.
It's Kate Bush. The animated Disney short, An Almost Christmas Story, centering on an owl who gets stuck in the Rockefeller Plaza Christmas tree, was directed by which American filmmaker, whose previous features include 2017's A Ghost Story and the 2021 film The Green Knight?
Who's the director of The Green Knight? Ghost Story. That's the one with the guy in the sheet.
The guy in the green.
It's on YouTube. From knowledge here.
It's like Gawain, isn't it? I don't know who. I don't know.
Don't know.
No. Famous
Come on.
director.
No idea. I don't know any. Pick one.
No.
Pass.
It's David Lowery. Pisco the Crab Child is in Love, Bug Diner and The Masterpiece are among the short films that won awards this year at which film festival held annually in Park City, Utah?
Sundance.
Sundance.
Yes. Let's start the question. I need the name of an author here. A 2024 album by the singer and bassist Michelle Ndegeocello has the title No More Water, the gospel of which African-American writer? The album was released on the 100th anniversary of his birth and includes tracks with the titles Another Country and On the Mountain.
Queen Zarnecki.
James Baldwin.
It is the great James Baldwin. Your bonuses, Queens, are 3 questions on English poets who died 350 years ago in 1674. In each case, never a good time when you're laughing at this point. In each case, I need you to name the poet. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying, and this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. Are the opening lines to a poem from the 1648 collection Hesperides by which of the so-called Cavalier poets?
Is it Don Juan?
Come on.
John Donne.
No, it's Robert Herrick. The work of which poet, born in Hereford in 1637, remained largely unknown until the chance discovery of the manuscript of his collection, Centuries of Meditations, at a London bookstall in the 1890s?
Somebody rediscovered in the 1890s. See, I can repeat the question, I just can't answer it.
Try John Donne again.
Shall we? John Donne.
No, it was Thomas Traherne. Which poet died in 1674, shortly after the publication of the second edition of his most famous work, to which he added an introduction explaining why he wrote it in, quote, English heroic verse without rhyme?
Milton.
It is John Milton. Music round now. For your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of 20th century music. For 10 points, I need you to name
Churchill Green.
Louis Armstrong.
No, you said with such conviction and error. It was Cab Calloway. We'll take your music bonuses in a moment. 2024 was the 200th anniversary of the birth of which German physicist who, along with his collaborator Robert Bunsen, established the field of spectroscopy, discovering the elements cesium and rubidium. He gives his name to a set of laws for calculating...
Queen's Anarchy.
Fraunhofer.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. You can hear a bit more of the question, but you may not confer, Churchill. Calculating the current, voltage and resistance of an electrical network.
Churchill Kelly.
Ohm.
No, it's Gustav Kirchhoff. Let's start the question. Derived ultimately from a Greek term meaning cutting up, what word links a 1957 work by the Canadian literary theorist Northrop Frye and an early 17th century scholarly work by the clergyman Robert Burton? The word in question preceding criticism and melancholy.
Churchill McCulloch.
Anatomy.
Well done. It is anatomy, yes. Your bonuses then, Churchill. For your music starter, you heard St James Infirmary Blues, sung by Cab Calloway, whose backing band, the Missourians, became the house band of Manhattan's Cotton Club in 1924. For your bonuses, 3 more artists who performed at the Cotton Club, 5 points for each you can name. First, this soloist and bandleader.
Nominate McCulloch.
Jelly Roll Morton.
No, it's Count Basie. Second. Horn. Lastly, this composer and bandleader.
It's not in my collection.
Jelly Roll Morton.
Jelly Roll Morton.
No, that was Duke Ellington. Let's start the question. Described in the Dictionary of National Biography as having a love of freedom so radical that his conservatism had anarchic tendencies, which English political philosopher wrote the 1933 work Experience and Its Modes and the later essay collection Rationalism in Politics?
Queen's Anarchy.
Lasky.
No. No conferring.
Churchill McCulloch.
Michael Oakeshott.
It was the great Michael Oakeshott. Yes, he was. It was indeed. Your bonuses then, Churchill, 3 questions on gifts in Greco-Roman mythology. According to legend, Athena and Poseidon competed for the patronage of what would become Athens by each giving the city a gift. What was Athena's winning gift, which she planted at the top of the Acropolis?
Apple? No.
What would you plant on top of the Acropolis?
Seed of some sort.
Geranium.
Come on, give yourselves a chance.
Pomegranate. What's that? Pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
No, it's an olive tree. In Ovid's Metamorphoses, which princess is given a javelin that never misses and a hound that never loses its prey by the goddess Diana? She uses them to reconcile with her husband, the hunter Cephalus.
Princess. Who was married to Cephalus? No.
Pass.
That was Procris. In Virgil's Aeneid, who warns the Trojans not to trust the wooden horse, saying, "I fear the Greeks, even those bearing gifts." As punishment, the gods send sea serpents to kill him and his sons, a scene depicted in a notable ancient sculpture.
Cassandra.
No, that was Laocoon. Let's start the question. In biology, what three-word name is given to the group of 9 organic compounds that includes histidine, lysine, tryptophan, and valine, which are...
Churchill Green.
I'm afraid if you buzz, you've got to answer no. Sorry, I've got to pass it over. You lose 5 points. Which are unable to be synthesised by the body and therefore, being vital nutrients, must be supplied through the diet. You may not confer. Someone can buzz if you want to. You don't lose points if you buzz now, so give it a go.
Queen's Merit.
Essential amino acids.
It is essential amino acids. Bad luck, Catherine. I think you knew it, didn't you? Bonuses then for you, Queens. 3 questions on Britain in the 1830s. What Prime Minister's term in office saw the passing of the Great Reform Act and the Poor Law Reform Act of 1834 that would receive royal assent not long after his time in office?
Prime Ministers in 1830s. Who was...
Is it Gladstone or is that too early?
I think it's too early for Gladstone.
Salisbury.
Which one should we go for, guys? What are you feeling?
Walpole or Salisbury?
I'm going to say Salisbury.
Yeah, I think it is.
Salisbury.
No, it was Earl Grey. An Act of 1836 resulted in the commutation to an annual rent of what payments for maintenance of the parish priest? Previously, these had often been made in kind. I need a specific term here.
Tithe or tithe? Tithe.
Yes, correct. 1833 saw the passing of a Factory Act that was the first effective legislation regulating child labour in what industry? The Mines Act followed in 1842.
Is it textiles? Yeah. Textiles? Yeah, textiles.
Yes, well done. Let's start the question. Picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting for 10 points. Name the artist.
Queen Zarnecki.
Goya.
No. No conferring, Churchill. You want to have a go? Give yourselves a chance. Go on.
Churchill McCulloch.
El Greco.
It is El Greco. There you go. The painting by El Greco that you saw for your picture starter depicts the biblical scene known as the Visitation. That is Mary's visit while pregnant to her cousin Elizabeth, who is pregnant with John the Baptist. Your picture bonuses will be 3 more paintings of this scene. Name the artist in each case. First, this artist. The scene is one section of an altarpiece.
Piero della Francesca.
Nominate McCulloch.
Piero della Francesca.
No, it's Fra Angelico. Secondly, this British artist.
Rossetti, I think.
Rossetti.
No, that was by Evelyn de Morgan. And finally, this Venetian artist.
Tiepolo.
Nominate McCulloch.
Tiepolo.
No, it's Tintoretto. Now let's start the question. In medieval philosophy, what specific metaphysical position associated with William of Ockham denied the existence of universals such as whiteness or squareness?
Churchill McCulloch.
Nominalism.
Well done, it is indeed. Your bonuses then, Churchill, 3 questions on novels set in Florida. Jane E. Crawford is the main character of which novel of 1937 by Zora Neale Hurston, set principally in her hometown of Eatonville, Florida?
We have to be quick. So,
Pass.
Their Eyes Were Watching God. Adapted into a film of 1967, which novel by Don Pierce is presented as tall tales about a prisoner in a Florida chain gang who could work the hardest, eat the mostest, and tell the biggest lies?
Pass.
Pass.
Cool Hand Luke. An account of abuse at a Florida reform school in the 1950s. The Nickel Boys is a 2019 novel by which US author? It was his second to win the Pulitzer Prize for fiction after The Underground Railroad.
you should know that. Who wrote The Underground Railroad?
No, pass.
It's Colson Whitehead. 3 minutes to go. May 2024 saw commemorations in Italy to mark the 80th anniversary of what 4-month-long battle that resulted in a significant Allied victory and included the bombing of a 1,400-year-old hill...
Queen's Anarchy.
Monte Cassino.
It is indeed. Well done. Your bonuses are on science museums. Which major science museum and art gallery in Glasgow is named after the physician whose will requested the creation of a museum to house his private collection following his death in 1783?
You lived in Glasgow.
Yeah, I should know.
Come on.
Nominate merit.
Is it Charles Rennie
No, it's
Mackintosh?
the Hunterian. The Deutsches Museum, or German Museum of Masterpieces of Natural Science and Technology, is located on an island in the River Isar. In which city?
Berlin.
No, it's Munich. The Museo Galileo, also known as the Museum of the History of Science, the collection of which includes one of Galileo's fingers, is in which Italian city?
Do anybody know? Should we just guess? It's not in Florence.
Come on.
I'm going to say Rome. Rome.
No, it's Florence. Let's start the question. What nationality is the sportsperson Biniam Girmay, who in 2024 became the first African to win any jersey at the Tour de France, where he took the green jersey for the points classification? He was born in the year 2000 in Asmara.
Queen's Anarchy.
Ethiopia.
No. Anyone from Churchill? Quick.
Churchill McCulloch.
Eritrea.
Yes, it is Eritrea. Your bonus is 3 questions on a culinary tradition. Taking various forms across different Western European countries, a king's cake is a confection eaten on which Christian feast day?
The 6th of January, the one where the 6th of Saints Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Yes, traditionally king's cakes include a small token or figurine baked into them with a name derived from that of which plant of the genus Vicia, whose large edible seeds were originally used instead?
It's like the fève. Yes. Oh, yeah, in French it's called the fève. Bean.
A bean.
No, it's the broad bean or the fava. Bad luck. In the north of France, the king's cake, or galette des rois, is commonly a puff pastry pie with what sweet filling? Made with butter, sugar, eggs and almonds?
Frangipan.
Yes, another starter question. The words heart, diamond and lotus are among those that may precede what Sanskrit word in the short English titles of major texts in...
Churchill McCulloch.
Sutra.
Yes, your bonuses are 3 questions of battles that took place in December. Which city in West Yorkshire gives its name to the significant Lancastrian victory in a battle of the Wars of the Roses that was fought at the end of December 1460?
Bosworth, is it Bosworth?
Nominate McCulloch.
Towton.
No, it's Wakefield. The Battle of Austerlitz, or the Three Emperors. And that's the gong. Churchill College, Cambridge have 95 and Queen's College, Cambridge have 95 as well. Well played so far, guys. That was very, very good. The way this works is I take the next starter from the top of the pile, as it were, and if you interrupt incorrectly, your team loses 5 points and you're out. It's not necessary for the other team to get the answer correct. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
This is for a place in the final, Christmas University Challenge, no pressure at all. Here is your tie-break starter for 10. Good luck. Saints and Sinners, The Little Red Chairs, and Girls in Their Married Bliss are among novels by which author who died in 2024? Her first novel, The Country Girls, was banned...
Queen's Merit.
Edna O'Brien.
It is Edna O'Brien. Well played, guys. Oh, Churchill.
Wow.
What a way to go.
Brilliant.
Did you know?
No.
That makes it so much better. Well, you guys were absolutely fantastic. And what a comeback. Absolutely thrilling. It was really, really fun to watch. Thank you so much. I'm afraid we're not going to see you again, but it's been an absolute privilege getting to know you. Queens, I mean, maybe sort of just hurry up a bit next time. No. Stephanie, the glory is yours. We can see you again. I hope you can join us next time for the final of this year's slightly stressful Christmas series. But until then, it is goodbye from Churchill College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Queen's College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.